Hey everybody, things are a little funky today. We have some work going on in the home, and so I'm trying to hunker down and make sure that we still get our workout in. So we have our isometric and mobility day. So definitely getting into the core. I'm going to continue with my 8 kilogram kettlebell, and we're going to get going pretty fast because I want to get 3 full rounds of our work combined with the 1 round of our focused abs and core. So anyway, we'll have our 1 minute sets and go from there. So we're going to start with an iso hold overhead with a tailbone tuck. And we'll just kind of do the best we can with the scenario that we have. All right, here we go. Grab that kettlebell. We're going to go ahead, or your dumbbell, and go ahead and just roll straight into it. Ready, set, and go. So grab your kettlebell, hold overhead just slightly, and then you're going to tuck your tailbone. So we're not going for big, huge, momentous pulls. Oh, my abs are actually already a bit sore, a bit tired. I'm doing some planks already today, so this is fun to get into. Scoop and grab. Find that flexion deep into the core. Control and flex in through the abs as you lower back toward the ground. Perfect. Keep it going. Just that tight flexion, connect, roll back slow. Barely scoop that tailbone up off the ground. Doesn't need to be huge. Time. All right, so now we're going to go with our pelvic rotations. So you're going to cross your right ankle over the left knee. Make sure that your left foot is out away from you. Then we're going to rotate down and back up. So 30 seconds on this side, 30 on the other. Make sure that you're feeling that pull in through that nice low back stretch. All right, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So after this, we're going to head up into our bear pose, our isometric bear pose, and then we'll get our scorpion stretch. Keep your shoulders pulled into the ground, stretching across, belly firm and flexed. Okay, there's our timer. Come on up, and you're going to grab your bear pose. So hands are planted right under shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. Find traction. So the goal here is to really build lots and lots of core flexion. Sliding your shoulder blades down the back, tightening up through that rib cage again. Pushing into the thumb and first finger. Keep your flexions. Can you firm your inner thighs? Can you firm your hamstrings? Flexed and tight. You got it. Different type of flexion than a plank. Remember, if you don't do a full bear, you can stay on your hands and knees and get your transverse abdominis grab. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Scorpion, put your right arm out, bend your left knee, and kick it over to the right. So you're going to get a nice stretch through the chest, through the shoulder, and through the low back on that side. Let your left knee kind of pull just a bit and away. 3, 2, and 1. Roll back to the middle. We're going to shift to the other side. Put your left arm out. Bring your arm up. Your leg up. Fold behind. Next up, we're going to have that Sampson overhead hold. Try to transition quickly. And then we'll have our hip slides. You got it. Stay on it. Okay, bring it up. Find your flexion. Left leg is going to be forward, right leg back. And then that is where we're going to hold the overhead, tucking the tailbone. So find lots of flexion through the legs, lots of flexion through the core, and then a little bit of opening in that lower right, the back right hip flexor. Relax through the neck and shoulder so your shoulder blade is setting in. You have good flexion and tension through the arm, your tricep, your pec, the back are holding support. Tuck in that tailbone. The first round is so much easier. Where's that core? Stay strong. Relax the neck. Drop the knee. Open your hip out to the side. And we're going to slide. Make sure you have some space here. Slide over and then back. So your leg's at that angle. You're getting that opening through the hip as you slide over. Pressing through the heel as you push back up. And the bell just kind of weights you down so that you have to put a little bit of flexion into the core. Lift up out of that lumbar spine. Nice full minute here. I've really enjoyed these days. Less intensity. Feels like we're really setting the body up to stay strong, mobile, stable, and working towards strengthening and pushing other side on our higher intensity days. Find your press. Find that squared off hips. Find your core. Open through that back hip flexor. You've got it. Stay strong and stable. Traction and tension through the feet. So you're pulling your front heel back. You're pulling your back toes forward. Strong through the core. Come on, come on. Stay strong. Shake is good. Make sure you can see your big toe inside the knee on the front leg. Take a break if you need it. Come back, but only if you need it. Set into the heat. Come on. Keep the pelvis stable. Time. Use that core. Oh, okay. Those feel it. Lots of heat. Perfect. Line up that knee and toe. We're going to go straight back into our tailbone tucks. Having nice mobile hips works down into the knees and up into the back. If we're tighten our hips, then it can relate to a lot of strain and stress on those other stabilizing joints. Okay, back onto the ground. Tailbone tucks. Grab your kettlebell or dumbbell. Hold it isometrics overhead. And then tuck your tailbone. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Feel your upper back. See if you can keep that tabletop position with your knees. So as you lower down, your shins, your calves are parallel to the ground. Your heels aren't dropping in towards your hips. Tighten and flex. Strong arms. Flexed upper back. You got it. trying not to let your flexion go. Time. Okay, set your bell down, cross your right ankle over the left knee, both arms are out. Get that pull to the side. So make sure your left foot is far enough wide that you have a good anchor point to pull the knee over. Reach out through the arms. Relax between your shoulders and ears. Roll yourself up. Shift if you need. Kind of got to find my positioning here so I have space to roll over. You want to keep that line up. See if you can get your left foot onto the ground, then open the knee away from you. All right, roll it in. We're going to have our bear pose. Ready, set, and go. Nice and quick. Don't forget, we're looking for traction between your hands and toes. Pull the hands back. Find your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is a huge part of your core. Hopefully your back is neutral. Tucking in the low ribs. And then we're going to get our scorpion. Tighten, tighten. Come on, find that pelvic floor. Stay with it. Tighten the thighs. Flex in. You can find more. Triceps pull back towards your knees. And then stand scorpion. Put your left arm out. Right leg kicks up and over. Maybe relax your head on the ground. Feels so good on the back, the chest. Okay, and then bring your leg down. Shift to the other side. Go the other way. Left leg kicks up and over. Good. Let the knee open out and away. Roll the shoulders back. 13 seconds. And we're going to have our wonderful Sampson. I'm going to start with my left arm up, right leg forward. 3, 2, and 1. Find that lunge. Trying to get as close to 90-degree angle in the knees as possible. Now maybe, depending on where you're at, you're up a little higher. That's okay. You find what works for your body. We don't want to have tension in the knees. You want to feel your thighs, your quads, glutes, hamstrings, core. Stretch on the hip flexor. Flexion through the core. Flexion through the back. See if you can, there's our time, but see if you can kind of target too, really where you want to put the work. You can kind of feel, I know I'm weaker on my right hamstring and glute. So really trying to dial in there while I have the opportunity. Get extra build. It's kind of interesting. My right hamstring and glute is a little weaker, but my right quad is a lot more intact, works a lot harder. So it has more tone, has more flexion and ability to grab than on the other side. Have a lot more build and strength, left hamstring and glute. less quad. So it's good to notice those things, switch it up, take them into account. Oof. It's a great opportunity to focus on your breath. Try to settle your mind. Focus on your inhales, your exhales. Square the hips, pull the front hip back, the back hip forward. I hope we're close. Time. Oh. Okay, slide. I'm liking the carpet on my knee up here. Not as much pressure on this guy. Don't forget about the core. Keeping your neutral spine, tailbone gently tucked, belly button drawing back, chest open. Lots of core. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now we're going to get our regular ab set, and then one more round of our iso and mobility. Okay. So we're going to get a Ticktock plank, side dips, and a body saw. It's going to be our start. 10 for each. See if we can do it all without taking a break. Rotate side to side without drooping in your low back. Just putting all that isometric work into now movement. So holding through movement. There's 10. Rotate to your side. 10 dips up and down. Trying to keep the hips stacked and square. 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Try not to rotate back. 9, 10. Now your elbows go back down. Start behind your elbows. Tuck the tailbone. Your butt needs to be super duper strong. Hover forward and back. 2. We're not rushing. 3. Find that core. 5, 6. Stay with it. And 10. Rotate back to your left arm. And then we're going to rotate the knee down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel those obliques, front of the abs. 8, 9. Keep the hips up. 10. Okay. Switch to your other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get all the way open, all the way rotated. If you need to stay on your bottom knee, that's fine. All right. Next up, we're going to get our arm taps out to the side. The goal is to keep our hips super still. Have a better view there from up top. See if I'm moving very much. 3, 6, 9, and 10. All right. Back extensions, just 10. So good for mobility and flexibility through your thoracic spine. Hands are behind your biceps. Core strong. Glutes are engaged. Relaxing through the neck. You're not using your neck. Open the chest. Squeeze those elbows in. One more. Okay, we're going to go in and out. Big deal here is to keep that low back pushed into the ground. So as you lower back and as you lift, your core has to constantly be scooping in order to get that low back into the ground. 8, 9, and 10. All right, turn to a more appropriate view for our happy baby. So grab inside your legs and then out and around if you can. Just stretch through the low back. Sneaking in a little bit more mobility here. Rock back and forth if you'd like. And then just press into those feet, evenly pulling that low back down to the ground, the knees open wide. You can feel those inner thighs stretch. All right. Grab your kettlebell or dumbbell. We're going to go back. One more set. Isometrics. Ready, set, and go. Tuck and curl. Hold that flexion. Watch your feet. Make sure that they don't pull up. We're not using momentum. You get to decide where you want to put the arms, where you want to hold the bell. Maybe you don't even hold it at all. Oh, whew. Time. Whew. All right. Right leg crosses over the left. Make sure your left foot is out toward the edge of your mat. Rotate your legs to the left and let the right knee drop away from the torso. So you feel through that glute, the side, all the way through shoulder and bicep. Okay, switch. Open those arms out wide. Let that knee drop out and away. We're going to get our bear pose. Put everything you have into these isometric holds. Okay, here we go. Up and at 'em. Find that bear pose. Find the shakes. I'd rather you work harder and have to take a few more breaks if you need. Tighten the thighs, tighten the core. See if you can kind of spot flex, grabbing different areas and points and spots of the core. Left side, right side, rib cage, thighs, pelvic floor. Oh. 10 seconds. For the knees hardly being off the ground at all. Feel it. Okay, left arm out. Kick your right leg up and over. Here we go. Let the knee open, out and away. If you can, let your head rest on the ground. Rotate back. Other side. Okay, we're going to have that Sampson lunge next. See what we can get. Oh. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Right arm holds the bell. My knee all set. Find that tuck. You got it. Come on, stay with me. Hold on tight through the upper back, the core, the thighs. That's our balance. Time. Oh, all right. Open through that thigh. You're going to slide over, get your hips open, pushing back nice and slow. Get that stretch. But then that flexion back is also worth something. So getting stretch with flexion, it's kind of how I think of mobility. We're kind of moving within the stretches, within patterns, reinforcing where your mobile joints are and where your stable joints are. So those hips, super mobile. And here we have our knee moving in just that one plane. And then our right knee isn't moving. There's our switch, isn't in and out either. It's just sliding over. So that's our hip mobility. Hip and ankle. Feel too far back. Oh my goodness. That took some crazy focus. I wanted to drop so bad. It's crazy how these Hold that up. My heart rate's running up a little higher. Got some sweat going, heat. Dial in that core. Make sure the chest is open. Feel the chest lifting, expanding the ribs up, not out though. So holding flexion, bottom of the ribs, tucking them in. That's your core. Oh, slide and press. Woo. Nice job. All right. Beautiful work. Okay, let's take a couple different levels and sides of mobility. So we'll start with a thread the needle. We'll do a little bit of traction. So plant your left hand, bring your right arm up. Try to hold the hips back for now. Then exhale, slide under. Now, allow your hips to slide over to the right. Hopefully you can get the outside of your right shoulder on the ground, your head on the ground. Take your left hand and pull that right arm just a little more. A little extra traction. Okay, bring it in. Other side. Try to keep the low back stable. Twist up through the mid back. This is my tight side. And then slide under. It's getting better though. Time has taken its wonderful toll in a positive way. Pull the left with the right arm just a bit more. All right. Bring your right leg forward. Slide in, get that inner thigh on the front leg. A little bit of hip flexor. Psoas-y. Stretch on the left side. And then slide back. I say psoas-y just because it's psoas is more impacted by deep tissue, maybe a ball. But keeping those hips loose is money. Well, it's fun having a little bit of a new space. You guys are seeing lots of new spaces. I kind of like it though. You don't have to have the same place to always work out in. So now we have proven that if you have a hotel room, you can do this workout in a hotel room, even without your kettlebell. You can either find something else or not worry about anything. Something's better than nothing. A lot of times we think high intensity is what we always have to find, but that is just not so. I hope that you're finding other times of day to contribute to your health and wellness, quality of life, taking a few deep breaths here and there, getting out to nature. We're in our Z sit now, so you just pull that right foot on in, the left foot back, and square off over the hips. And then twist yourself around. We're going to bring that left leg forward and the right leg back. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. I have had my moments where I get stressed or anxious or tense over what I didn't get done or what I need to do. I think it's probably counterproductive to stress over the fact that you didn't meditate, as opposed to realizing, okay, today it just didn't happen. Also recognize, though, when you're trying to implement new habits or behaviors of any type, you have to just make it happen. You just have to force things to come along. You can think of it as a job. I would recommend thinking of it as more benefit for yourself. But your job, you have to show up or you don't get paid. So same for what you put out with your workouts, your commitment to them, your consistency, balance between high intensity, moderate, and low. Find your different zones. Non-exercise activity time, cleaning, walking, picking things up, putting them away. I guess that could constitute as cleaning. Gardening, fishing, movement, not sitting. Walk a little further in the parking lot, take the stairs, take the ramp. A lot of places have ramps. Do what you can, but then try your best to enjoy the process. Recognize where you're giving back to yourself. I think I say it every week, okay, come to your Z-sit, but I definitely really appreciated this session during this series, during these 4 weeks. Feel like I worked, got some movement, heart rate, some sweat, but really feel like I gave back to the body. I'm keeping it in the positions that it needs to continue on for another day, another week, another month, another year. Hopefully you're feeling the same things. All right, wonderful job. I will see you again very soon, and we'll keep the cycle going.